Welcome to another episode of H2O in the Know. We're back at the 2018 Berkeley Springs International Water Tasting here in West Virginia. And for this episode today, I'm joined by water tasting judge Mark Kraham from local TV affiliate WDVM-TV. Mark will tell us what it's like judging this event and tasting so many different waters. I'm your host, Chris Torres, and Mark, it's great to meet you. How are you today?
Chris, I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
And no problem. And how did you get into judging for this event?
Well, you know, the folks that organize this always try to bring in journalists who maybe are writing columns as far as travel, food, drink, things like that are often invited. But usually as well, they have historically invited someone from the local newspaper, the local radio station, local television. I've been in broadcasting here in this area for more than 34 years, and so I actually covered this event originally on the very first one 28 years ago. Covered it a couple of years, and then finally they said, well, you keep coming around, why don't you judge? So they had me judge a couple of different years, and then I was tied up on some other things, and it seemed like they were rotating judges around. Eventually, somehow I became a repeat offender, and so now I believe, if my count is correct, this is either the 17th or 18th year that I've done it.
How much do you enjoy it?
Well, obviously I very much enjoy it. I clear my calendar, my schedule, so that I can be here. The folks that organize it are dear friends. And it's fun. It's fun to see the individuals from all around the world, municipalities, water bottlers, individuals who are in the water industry, bring their sampling and watch with anticipation as the judges sip away.
And what's it like sipping on all of this water all day?
Well, it is a little daunting. You know, you look at it there, and I remember one year there was a young lady sat down beside me there, and she looked and she says, I don't think I can drink all this water. And I said, no. Listen to what Arthur is telling you, the master of the waters. I said, you sip and just taste it. Don't try to drink. You will never drink at all. You'll explode. But it's interesting, you know. Oftentimes when I tell people I come to judge this, they're like, well, really, is there that much difference? I have to tell you that with bottled water, it's very subtle, very, very subtle. Nonetheless, the municipalities are the ones that really can have some very striking differences.
Do you know how many waters you're trying out while you're judging during the weekend?
I don't know how many there are today. I know they have some preliminaries where they sort of weed out the really undesirable water, and that's good for us. So there's a preliminary judging, and then we do the final round today.
And how can you tell the differences between so many different waters?
Well, with the municipalities, it's interesting because they have different treatment procedures or recipes, I'll say, and you pick up a glass of water and some of it smells like pool water, some of it has a muddy flavor, some of it I say it has a wet dog smell, and there have been occasions where I've brought that glass up, you look at it first for clarity, then you sniff it, and there have been times when I looked at it and smelled it and didn't really want to taste it, but I had to, you're forced to as a judge. And sometimes it has a very metallic taste. So it depends on the minerals, iron and sulfur flavor water very strongly, and so if those minerals are present, you find it.
And do the tastes vary from category to category? Like would the municipal waters taste different from the spring waters?
Oh, yes.
The purified?
Yes,
and
for sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it seems to me that the purified has the most common taste. It just seems like it's kind of across the board. A lot of the purified water, at least for me, seems like it's sort of just like the same thing all over again. But the same token, there are enough difference that you can find something to score there.
And are there some types of water that might be harder to judge than others because they might taste too similar?
Oh yeah, I think that the purified is probably the hardest category. I think it's even more difficult than the bottled carbonated. But I really enjoy. That's the last flight we do, is the bottled carbonated, and I really enjoy that. It's very refreshing at the end of the day after you've tasted 100 plus waters. And so they generally do municipal first, and then we get the bottled carbonated last.
And you mentioned this a minute ago, but you guys are also awarding the best scented water. So what is that like? I never even thought of water having a scent.
Well, actually, what you want or you hope is that it has either no odor or a clean odor. But there are definitely waters that do not smell good. It's it just comes with the turf. Again, we're told that that's based on the minerals in the ground and its environment and what it's exposed to.
Are there any particular scents that have stood out to you over the years, good or bad?
I would say yes. Pool water, wet dog are the more memorable scents. One that I thought had a very chemical, metallic smell to it, almost like zinc, I would say over the years, then the some of the sparkling waters, and definitely some of the municipalities really do a good job with their water, and so there are some very delightful waters as well.
And my last question for you today, Mark, is what do you look forward to most during this event?
I think meeting a lot of people from around the world who are in the water industry. It's very fascinating to talk to them and hear their take on it, and as far as where they're from in the world, sort of their perspective. But it's very interesting. Also, I think one of the things is every year someone has come up with some unique or different way to package or bottle water, and so some of it looks like a beverage, but it's been fun. Some of my friends tease me and say, well, are you really a water connoisseur? And I say, no, I'm just an aquaholic.
All right, and we're going to end it on that
note. All right.
Mark, thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks,
Have fun
Chris.
out there judging today. And that's it for this episode. Be sure to check out our other episodes from here at the Berkeley Springs International Water Tasting. We'll see you next time. Music by royaltyfreemusiclibrary.com.